Well, former Finance Minister Tito Mboweni will be laid to rest at his home village in Sesekani in Tzaneen. He died on Saturday at a Johannesburg hospital after a short illness. Our colleague Ntokozo Khumalo spent the day following his formative years from primary to high school and is now with his family, who are preparing to help him for him to be laid to rest on Saturday. Ntokozo, a full circle moment for a life that many say was well lived. How are preparations going at the family home?
Good afternoon, Vuyo. Well, things are in full swing here. The mood, peaceful as people are sort of reflecting on former Finance Minister Tito Mboweni's life. But just hearing the interview that Moteu just heard, the people here remembering him really as just a young man who grew up here, made a difference, made his way to the city, and made a difference in the global stage. So the visuals that my colleague Morena is showing behind you, really activity at the tent happening there as community members start to come in for the vigil process, as well as, making some donations to ensure that the funeral does proceed well and everything goes according to plan. As with any funeral, we do have, ladies who are making the meals for the community members and the family members that will be trickling in through the day. We have seen some members who come in and really it's just to help comfort the family, to sing songs of praise and worship, just in reflection of Tito Mboweni's life. So quite a busy day as they are preparing then for that funeral on Saturday. And we do have, family members that we are going to speak to, some cabbage and chicken, the usuals. And of course, I would assume the chicken would not stay out of the meal, seeing that Tito Mboweni, his fish and chicken was some of his favorite proteins. But as we were moving through the village, Vuyo, really the sense that we got, whether it was at Bordeaux, a primary school where he attended, the teachers there saying he was truly valuable in terms of the contribution that he made, not only in ensuring that the learners have the best chance of making it in life. Same sentiments that were shared at his high school, where they were saying, yes, they do struggle with infrastructure, the school there dilapidating, and former Minister Tito Mboweni really was the ambassador of trying to get the community, to get the school back to its stature. The principal at the school earlier on telling us that because of Tito Mboweni, investing really into ensuring that there are programs for learners at the school, such as holiday programs, getting former teachers to come and give them extra lessons. It really made such a difference in the marks, saying they went from a matric pass rate of about 54% all the way to 84%. And the last conversation that she had with the minister a few weeks ago was how to get that up to 94%, and by 2027 to get that up to 100% pass rate. So just, signaling how important education and development was for him. So under the tents here, we do see community members, as we said, community very important here. So these are people who are just collecting donation, community members, to ensure that everything does go well. And we are now here with one family member who will just give us insights into how she would remember Tito Mboweni, the man. Thank you so much for talking to us. Now, uncles, nieces and nephews often have a very special relationship. Former Minister Tito Mboweni, your uncle, how will you remember him as a family member?
I'm going to remember him for so many things. My uncle was a very loving person, very caring, committed, and always available. So I think those are the things that we'll always remember him with, yes.
And just talk us through the kind of family man he was. Did he let you get away with some things?
Oh, no. My uncle was not bossy, not controlling, but he wanted us to do things his way, you know. And sometimes he will suggest something and you'll be like, I don't think that's going to work. And you say, but no, it's not going to work. So that's the kind of a person that he was. But you'll have to find a way to actually talk him into what you want. And eventually he would listen. And yes.
And the one thing over the past 2 days that I've learned about him was really the passion that he had for rural development. I would say he was the ambassador really of Tzaneen in this community. Can you give us insights into what his love for rural community was, especially considering that he made a life for him in the city and globally, but chose to come back home?
One of the things he'll always say that, you know why I like this place? It's peaceful, not rates and taxes. So he would be one to actually encourage people and the community to maintain the infrastructure around so that also the government doesn't spend a lot, discourages us from striking because he didn't like that part of striking. So he was one person that would even always encourage us to maintain what the government is giving us and to have a better way of communicating, you know. Yeah.
No, Ntamulo, thank you so much for giving us just a snippet into his life as you, of course, prepare to put him to rest. Of course, Ntamulo Mboweni there is Tito Mboweni's niece, and just giving us some insights of Vuyo into the kind of man that he was. And I think that is the sentiment that I've really gotten over the past 2 days, whether it was Blueberry Heights Farm, where the manager there told us that he really did want things done his way, and they would also have a bit of a tiff when she would push back. And those long, engaging conversations, also one thing that I've gotten out of the people in the community, saying that he really loved a good debate, he loved a good conversation, always bringing up issues around labor law, as we heard earlier, that he really was a champion for ensuring that workers' rights are protected, something that perhaps South Africans had forgotten about him, after he became the finance minister of Vuyo. But preparations certainly on the way here for the weekend.
I looked carefully in Ntokozo as you were going past all those pots and dishes. I didn't see the Duke's favorite chicken stew or pilchard for that matter.
Well, I saw the chicken, Vuyo. I think they were just cleaning off the chicken and spicing it. I am going to ask Lamulo about the pilchards, because I would assume that would be the speciality dish that we do have over the weekend. Of course, the insights that we got is Tito Mboweni did have, a sense of humor as well. So I would assume that the family might consider having some pilchards. But with families coming in, Vuyo, African, putting someone to rest in the African way, people will be coming to the family home through the week, all the way to when the funeral takes place on Saturday. So feeding, family members as well as community members that come in. I'm pretty sure that pilchards will make a feature sometime this week.